2017, and I'm kicking it with Raw Fury Games and my boy Dandara man himself.
Yeah.
How do I say your game? I always mess it up.
Dandara.
Dandara.
Yeah.
What does that name mean?
Well, it means like it's a fairly not that common, but
it's not common
kind of common name in Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
really?
So Dandara is the name of the lead character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, I know we have live gameplay, right? Let's just jump right into it right now.
All right.
And I'm excited to know more about this, what this game is. I've actually seen a little bit of it at E3, and you guys brought a lot more.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of gameplay today. We're going to play for about 30 minutes. For those of you who haven't seen this before, let me tell the audience what it is.
Should I start?
Start.
Yeah, you can just
do your
go
thing,
for it.
man.
We'll talk over
So
it.
Dandara is a Metroidvania, but as you can see, the way that Zhao is moving through the world is by jumping from platform to platform. And those platforms you see are salt. So these guys wanted to make a Metroidvania. They used to like the old games on DS and so, but they wanted to do something a little bit different. So because there's a lot of really great Metroidvanias out there that have platforming and so forth. So they try to twist that on their head and build this game.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So we call it like abstract gravity, which is a fancy way of saying you can just move any which way.
Banded gravity as well.
Right. So you'll see not only can you move like up and down and on walls and sides, like occasionally when you go into new rooms, the whole world twists. And you kind of get a bit lost and confused by the map because it kind of shows some different things.
Like this.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So we've started you right now at the very beginning of the game. So this is kind of the light tutorial, and it shows you kind of how to move and how to shoot. And then later on, we're going to show you a boss fight, and some enemies, and some new areas as well.
So this is where you like upgrade Dandara, level her up, stuff. And
So yeah,
learn a little bit about the lore as well.
During the game, you'll collect salt. You'll see in the top right-hand corner, and you can use that salt to buy upgrades, usually health, but also you'll pick up new weapons and things throughout the game as time goes on.
So you can only move by jumping from salt to salt.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see some of the areas don't have the white salt in it. You can't jump to those. And the way you time your jump is you push out the right stick, and you can see this kind of this arrow pointing.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps you to know where exactly to jump and how to jump to that area.
Yeah, whenever you see the green arrow pointed to the ground, you can like press A to jump.
I mean, you can't like sideways move on the...
No,
No, you can't
because you
slide on
need
the
to
salt.
like bounce
You can't
from
slide
point
on
to
salt.
point.
Okay,
Yeah.
once you're stuck, you're stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he's taking this kind of slowly so we can show you kind of how things look and how they work, but you can like bounce around the levels.
You can
speeding past
speedrun
enemies.
it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's so
kind of
much fun to
difficult.
speedrun.
Yeah.
It is. So like
Yeah.
there ends up being a lot of enemies, and if you don't take them out as you're running through, you can get a bit overwhelmed. But it's absolutely, you can just blast your way through it. And actually, that's how I like to play the game a lot, is just to try and get through to the end as fast as possible. So during the game, there are like any true Metroidvania, a bunch of secrets and stuff like that to find. So you'll unlock abilities during the game. So right here, you see it says there is a small painting on the floor. Unlit, it is hard to define its shapes. So if you remember where that was and what that is, later on in the game, you'll find some reference to paintings, and you'll unlock the ability to go and use that platform. So you need to unlock these abilities to progress through the game, but you can also go back to previous areas where you've seen them and find secrets and new items and everything like that. So we want the player to kind of spend time exploring, spend time in the world, and really kind of figure out how to get to the end without just going from A to B. So you can see right here, there's a lot of different traps and things.
That's really
in the
interesting.
Game. Yeah, so these only activate when you touch them. We're just showing you a really small amount of what we have here. At the top of the screen there, you can see the spike moving along. Like, these aren't groundbreaking mechanics, but we start to kind of pack them all together, so you really have to figure out your timing and how fast to move and things like that.
Basically, you can choose like whenever like way you want. You can try to go through those guys or try to do through the traps.
Sure.
Either way is fine.
Whenever I mean, you're obviously teaching the player how to play in this new dynamic universe where everything flips around and you can't go side to side. It's every little movement's almost like a puzzle in a sense.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So this area is a perfect example. For example, so you see these boxes and you see a chest to the right. So what we're teaching the player here is, okay, try and shoot the boxes, see what happens. get past the trap and unlock the box. I don't know if you have the audio of the game in the headset, but when you open an item, it plays the most beautiful sound. It's awesome. So the player really wants to keep finding these things and find out the lore of the game. So not only do we teach the player how to play the game through, like, it's not a tutorial, it's just the first area, by giving them tips and tricks and stuff, but we're also kind of slowly feeding them the lore and what the world is and what the universe is and exactly what it is they're doing and who they are.
So kind of teaching through good design instead of through words.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are some words, but and it's kind of the buzzword of games right now, but Dark Souls, the way that they feed information through environments, that's kind of the same style as
it doesn't hold your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like any true Metroidvania. So let me talk about the lore a bit and kind of what the universe is. So Dandara was inspired by a Brazilian legend of a woman who would help free slaves in Brazil. So it's the Dandara in the game isn't freeing slaves, but everyone born into this world and this universe is born fully formed as a fully formed adult, and they're all born with a purpose. So there's no babies, there's no growing up. You're just born and thrown into the world, and you have to kind of fulfill your purpose. And we explained through the game that Dandara's purpose is freedom. So within the world, there are these two factions. You can see one of the NPCs here.
Yeah, that's the first friendly NPC you find in the world. She's pretty, like, different, like, supposed to shock the player at this point.
Yeah, so this is Tarsila. So there's two factions. One of them is being oppressed by the other faction. Tarsila is on the side that's being oppressed. And this isn't good or bad and good and evil. This is just one faction is being bad to the other faction. And Dandara, the goal of the game and the goal of you as a player is to kind of jump into this world and try and help that faction basically find their freedom throughout the game. So we don't want to talk too much more about the story, but that's kind of...
That's incredible. Yeah. That's really cool. Fully formed birth.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Sounds like that in real life.
It's super creative. That's actually that's incredible. Did any of that stuff come from the Brazilian culture, the narratives that have been stories that happen out there?
Actually, no. Many parts of the story, everything, the lore, like first there was the gameplay, and the lore was made to accommodate the gameplay. So it was made around that.
The lore, right? But like, this is your game, right?
Yeah.
This is all in your head.
Yes.
Now being made on here.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about this game since you were a little kid?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah. But maybe like there's some like...
There has to be some stuff in your mind that's coming out now. Especially the lore of it that's coming out. Because that's a very free... It's like The Fifth Element, right?
Right.
He wrote that story when he was 16.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
So the thing about this game is these guys were students together.
I see.
So two of them were students in the same university, and they wanted to build games together. They built a game already. They built a couple of things and did some different things. But this game was kind of simmering in the background. So not since they were kids, but certainly for the past few years, they've had the idea of what to do.
This idea has been marinating. Cool.
And so they picked up, so these guys are neighbors in the same town. They grabbed one of their other neighbors to say like, hey, shouting over the fence, come and help us build our game.
Of the game developers?
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. Area is?
So they all live in this tiny village in Brazil. And actually a lot of the in-game kind of names and themes come from that village. So there's a bar in the game.
That's what I'm gonna show right now. You see the cupcake thing?
So it's kind of hard to see on the screen.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see that thing.
Yeah, that's littered around the city. There's like a graffiti maker.
That's a famous, that's an iconic image. That's cool.
We put that so much things we see every day in our lives. So much of that we put in the game. So in a sense, I have that.
You have
the game in my head.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to pull it from you. I'm trying to understand. because a lot of the AAA stuff, and they have a wonderful place in our gaming universe.
Absolutely.
But it's rare that I get to sit to talk to you, where this has all been you, and this is in your mind. This has been something you've been working on.
Yeah.
Maybe unintentionally. Maybe this has been something.
Yeah, of course.
That you didn't know that has been in your head since you were a little kid.
This is a one-man game.
Cool,
No, so there's 4 of them.
4.
Yeah,
okay.
4 of them.
It's amazing what's being done now.
Yeah, it's so all the art is done by one guy. He makes all the sprites and the backgrounds, etc. There's a musician called Tomas who does all of the sounds and all the soundtrack. The soundtrack we think is really special. And then we have the other 2 guys who kind of mix up design and programming and things like that. So this bar, Garantido's
the
bar.
Garantido's bar. This is a bar that we like have. Garantido means guaranteed in Portuguese.
Okay.
So it's like a bar. The nickname we gave a bar that's always open all the time next to our like house, and like we put all the stuff in the game. Like if you see the names of the levels, like right now it's downtown, but yeah, Garantido's bar is an example. Right now it's downtown, but if you take take notice on that, it's gonna be like all about stuff we see every day in our lives, because nobody knows what else, like what happens in Brazil, like, in the middle of Brazil, right?
Of course not.
So that's gonna be mysterious for the player, right?
So to us, it's like these words we don't understand and things. To them, it's like, oh, it's our local pub. So
sure.
Yeah.
So are there going to be like boss fights and stuff in this game as
so
well?
let's switch to a boss fight. That's a great idea. So
oh boy.
We came prepared with a couple of saves.
Place. Yeah.
So you see there, we have 33 minutes in. The game is going to be around 5 to 6 hours of gameplay, we think. It's not finished yet, so we're still working it out.
Exactly.
But we have a save here just before one of the bosses.
Yeah, I got this power up right now. It's a missile. This is the first secondary weapon in the game.
Right, so the primary weapon is arrows, and that's what you've been seeing all gameplay now. Now you're seeing these bricks right here.
Yes, you can explode it.
This is how you get past the bricks. So during the game, you'll see these blockages and things you can't get past. When you unlock something special, you can go back and kind of find your way through. So this is one of the first bosses, so let's see how he does. This kicked my ass for like the first 3 times. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's one of these where you learn the patterns, you learn how they are, and once you know it, it's kind of easy, but like they just come at you. But they all have tells and animation patterns that you can figure out. But if you're like me, you lose like 2 or 3 times.
Dude, if you're like me, all I do is play video games and I suck.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't know why I'm not good at them.
No, it's a common joke with me and my wife. She's always telling people I'm bad at games.
But it's probably true, right?
True.
Yeah, damn.
It's totally true.
I like to think I'm pretty all right.
You probably are.
Yeah.
Played a lot of Rogue Legacy, so I should be all right with this.
Yeah, roguelikes I think are my favorite type of game. This isn't a roguelike.
Could this have worked as a roguelike, you think?
I think it would have been quite a different game. There's not that meta gameplay you expect from roguelikes, like unlocks and abilities and things like that. We wanted quite a kind of clean game that you could just play through.
Dude, this boss is sick looking.
This art looks really cool.
Thanks. The artist is gonna love that.
Yeah, we're super proud of the art. He's an awesome dude, again, in their hometown. So we definitely wanted to show you one of the bosses. We're also later on going to show you the second world.
That is so interesting.
There's only like 4 colors, but it looks so cool.
That's it. So on the art style and the colors and things, this is going to be cross-platform. We're putting this on, like, PC's our main platform. We're all PC gamers.
Right.
We're going to be putting it onto console as well. This works perfect for, like, Switch, for
That's
example,
what I was going to say. You're right. That's been talked about. So this feels like a Switch game, man. I don't know why it does, though.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to kill it on Switch. Like, when we first saw it, Gordon, who you may know, he played through the whole game on the plane, and we just fell in love with it straight away. And to us, we were like, obviously PC, this is going to go down well, but Switch is going to be like
just feels right. I don't know why. Yeah, that's so cool.
And we're showing it on Switch at this show, actually.
Oh, you do?
Isn't relevant to your users, but like, it's ready, it's done. We're showing people it's working on Switch, and it's working super well. And actually at Raw Fury, which is where I work, the publisher, like we're all in on Switch. We think it's a great platform, so that's why we want to work with guys like this and games like this that are just gonna really shine on that platform.
I mean, look at this game. Yeah. This is incredible. It's such a unique take.
And we're not done yet. So
I know, that's so cool.
In terms of release date, we don't have a set month or anything, but we're definitely going to be this year. We're looking towards the end of the year, something like that, kind of winter, I guess.
Sure.
So should we show the second level?
Go for it. So what you've just seen there is kind of the first world, which is the village. I think we're going to go into the desert now. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have these connecting bits between these worlds, but we want to show you that there's kind of different ways of what stuff looks like and how to play.
And new mechanics as well. Like this platform responds when you shoot something. Like it responds.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So if you do like this.
And as you can see, we start to really subvert like what the world looks like by twisting and moving it around, and We don't want to spoil too much, but the game gets a lot crazier than what you've seen in terms of how the world's built and things like that. So we're very excited about it.
Well, you have every right to be.
Well, and thanks so much for having us. We're so happy to be able to show this to people. We're gonna, you know, we want to get it out. We want to get it into people's hands and see what they think as well.
The passion project. So of
That's
course
it,
you're
exactly.
gonna
Yeah,
be excited.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, what games did you work on before this?
Whoa! Look at him go.
Well, we're working on small mobile games before.
Mobile?
Yeah, and we did a couple game jams, but we always wanted to go console.
I see.
That's our main goal right now.
And this came out of a game jam, is that right?
No, it was like it was an experiment. We could say like a game jam.
Well,
because
what
it was
did this
pretty
first
fast.
look like? What did this look like? Did it always look like this?
No. In the first like prototype or something, the Dandara was like this guy with a fedora, and he was like dancing like
he was
this.
dancing.
Yeah, he was
Gotta
dancing
love
all the
it.
time.
He was dancing on the salt?
Yeah, dancing on the salt. It was not even salt, it was just white at that point.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
so glad we dropped the dancing guy in a fedora for Dandara with the afro.
What an iconic person to replace him. That's the right thing to do.
Kind of the opposite, but
Absolutely,
yeah.
the total opposite of that.
I don't know why, but it's for some reason it reminds me of Aladdin for the Super Nintendo.
It does, right?
That's true,
It has
yeah.
a
I think
hint
it's the
of that.
colors or something.
The
Something
movement.
reminds me
it's
of
the
it.
scarf. It's the
Yes.
the movement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
That game was hard.
Like when you charge up to shoot, if you do that for me, just charge up.
All right.
Like I love that image of just like holding it like that. Like
Yes.
there's all these little things.
Is there a
and
mixture of
animations.
what's going on with the animations? Like, is there? Because it looked like the boss was a fully animated type character. Do I not know what I'm talking about? Do I not? Am I dumb?
No, so all the animations are hand done.
Everything.
Everything's hand done and hand built, and
Wow.
all the
Ooh, I feel
enemies.
sorry for your animator.
Different enemies have different animations and stuff
So
like
crazy.
that. So
Exactly. That animation for entering the doors, it's like our crown jewel right now. I love it. Everybody loves it. Oh, this is a new mechanic as well. Like, there's these platforms that you can move it while shooting, and gives like more ways to
It's
walk
so crazy
around.
that you were playing an entire game without walking.
Without
Yeah.
walking.
yeah,
Right.
it's kind of weird. You get so used to
You
it
don't
of
realize
just
it.
jumping around,
Yeah.
and then when you go back to like, so that there's another game I'm playing at the moment called Dead Cells, which is like a more normal type of Metroidvania type, and it just feels weird trying to train your brain again to like
To
jump
walk.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you're just firing yourself around the levels and things, and you kind of get used to it. But we've been adding a ton to the game as we go, so little things like when he jumps, there's a tiny particle trail coming behind him. Like all of these little bits of polish and stuff is what
Yes.
we're adding. You see the parallax in the ground of the
yeah.
scene there, of like you see the sands and things. Like all of this stuff is being added. So when we launch it, it'll look kind of like this, but it should have a lot more polish and these little things that kind of just make you fall in love with the game. You know, rather than just want to play it once. And kind of, as I said, we have a ton more lore to talk about and a ton more things that happen in the game and NPCs and people you meet and things like that. So there's a ton more in the game that we'd love to show you at some
Whoa.
point.
This is getting a little bit more crazy now. Right?
So are there any
Yeah.
can we get to any secrets? Are there any secrets near here?
Secret. It's gonna take like more than 5 minutes
All
to
right,
get to the secret.
let's not
He
worry
needs to get
about
his
that.
hats
We
out.
don't want to spoil it anyway.
Yes, of course.
So why don't you talk about some of the inspiration for the game? Like you love Metroidvanias, that's
Yes,
right.
I really like Metroidvanias, but I really like Dark Souls games. as
Okay.
well. Like games where you just explore and the environment tells you about what it is. Not the story is not fed like to you.
Right.
You just like walk around and try to imagine what's gonna be, something like this. Like for example, like the feeling that Alice has on the Wonderland. I really
Yeah.
like that, like to capture that kind of feeling.
The constant magic of exploration.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
wonder
And wonder
yeah,
and
exactly.
knowing that at each corner something different could happen, you know, like the big character you saw in the beginning, that kind of stuff. Like I really like. So
Yes. So during the game, we're trying to do these like moments. So meeting Tarsila at the start, which is this strange-looking giant lady, is one of them. And then throughout the game, there's these other bits where it kind of things look different to what you've been playing, and we have these big spanning bridges and forests and all of these things where just to make it memorable for the player and have them kind of feel that sense of wonder at what they're doing and how they've got to that point.
yeah. So I think I got to a secret. We're here. Yes. There's an extra
What?
healing item here.
So what do we have here? Glass sphere. Okay, so yeah, throughout the game, you always unlock the secondary weapons. They're kind of part of the linear part of the game. But there's a lot of stuff that you can find that you don't have to be able to find. Most of that is on defense, kind of more health potions and being able to do that. And like unlocking more heart containers, for example. And then you can also spend the salt on buying another chance to like refill a heart. So we haven't really talked about too much of like the game mechanics of it, rather than just jumping around and shooting stuff. But there's definitely this like, do I want to spend it on that? Do I want to save it for the next time? And things like that. So there's quite a bit of strategy involved, I guess, in the meta game for the player.
Yes.
And in terms of like what decisions they make during the game and you know how they choose to get to the end. Other than this crazy kind of almost
this is
bullet hell
amazing.
style.
Wow.
So he's making this look easy. It's really not easy. This is why he's
That's how you
playing
know
it.
someone's good.
It really isn't easy. That's why.
No, it's not easy at all. I saw David, who also works at Raw Fury, play it, and he just kept dying over and over and over. So he's making it not just look easy, he's making it look real easy.
That's funny. So I have an idea. Why don't we just load up the first save again? Do you want to try it and just see what it feels like to jump from
that
point
would
to
be
point?
awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's try it. You want to continue for the?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's continue.
So you want to explain the buttons real quick?
Sure. So.
Well, this is a controller.
Yeah.
That's right. So
that pushes
So
up.
the
I'm
left
stuck to the
thumbstick, you
couch.
can aim. Just press it. Yeah. And whenever you see the green arrow,
you got it. Easy.
You can jump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then to shoot?
And for sure, you need to hold X for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
You got
Perfect.
it. Everything
fairly-
you need to know.
okay, so
oh,
I
you
can-
can also press B to heal a little bit. You have like a healing blast. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, you've healed.
Okay, so where do I
Excellent.
go?
It's up to
so-
you.
Yeah, it's up to you, but I can tell you if you like. Yeah.
Oh, I can hear. I can go
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I just don't want to go backwards or something.
Yeah. So go up, go up. You can
you wanna go
actually
kinda
use
left
that the
So if you push,
telescope thing. Yes, you can
go onto the telescope, just to the left.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Press down
A.
and A.
Yeah.
A?
Just A.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the full stage.
Oh.
Right.
Yes,
all right.
yeah. So you can like the way you have to go right now is kind of like the upper right door.
Okay.
So yeah.
How do you know? Is it the flashing lights that give
Well,
it
so
away?
he knows
Yeah.
because he built the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
knows
I'm not supposed to
everything.
know.
No, so the player knows you unlock a map, which I don't think we've done yet on this save, but you unlock a map which starts to fill up.
Yeah.
And actually the world is pretty huge. Like we only showed you a little bit of World 1, but World 1 takes you maybe up to an hour to get through, and the map really starts filling out. But you know, as a gamer playing the game, by like recognizing where you've been and coming back and trying to remember these kind of secret doors that you've seen
I'm
before.
bad at
and
that.
stuff like
Could
that.
this ever work as a multiplayer, like a co-op?
So we talked about it. Right now, we don't have plans for co-op or multiplayer. We just want to focus on like making this the best single-player game that can be.
The possibilities
but
with
yeah,
the
I mean,
Switch,
we're not
man.
against it for sure.
The
Like,
local, the system-to-system share
yeah,
link.
absolutely.
So weird, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's ways to do it, but right now we just want to focus.
Oh,
on
I
getting
mean, finish the
single-player
game.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, I'm just sitting here talking about your game. You're the guys the one making it.
Yeah. No, you know, never say never. That's for sure.
Well, I do know for one thing is that congratulations. Whatever
managed to-
second
Yeah.
game you have in your brain, you should make. You're gonna be making that soon one day too. She's dead.
So
Yeah.
How did I die
The-
though?
There was an enemy that appears like from the background, and he got you.
So I
He got you.
Well,
Yeah.
So when I first played this game, I died so many times to that enemy, and I didn't even know what was killing me.
No, I was
It
like,
is
what
supposed to be a
happened?
really hard
Completely.
game.
Yeah.
So the game is a really hard game.
It
Yes.
is, yeah. It's,
Really?
So
he
you
kind
see,
of made it look easy.
like the guy's gonna spawn right there. That's what killed you.
That guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this,
The orange.
Not the specific one.
so
There's
if you jump
yeah.
along,
that one.
so
Yeah.
jump that way,
Yeah.
and
Jump
you'll see
down there.
something
I'll shoot it.
spawn and like chase after you.
Yeah.
It's those
Boom.
that kick my ass every time.
And you want people to die a lot, right?
Yeah. Of course.
yeah.
Well,
I
you
want
made
them
it
to
look really
feel
easy.
really
oh,
great
see
when
that,
they
that
accomplish
same
something.
guy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they just
I'm
come
yelling.
from nowhere. No. This is exactly
is
what
a
happens
yelling
when I
game.
first
Yeah.
play the game.
Yeah, you can kind of see where they are if you like pay attention to the
Oh,
tower.
did you see that dodge? Are you
That
proud
was a
of me?
pretty good dodge.
Yeah.
What is that?
Again, you
that's
made
your
it look
body.
easy.
It's my soul.
Yeah, if you shoot it, yeah,
Fudge
Oh,
nuggets.
jeez.
you can retrieve all your money. Yeah.
Fudge!
So this is exactly why I had Xiao on stage to play the game, because if
Dude,
it was
if
me,
it
I'd
was
be
you-
like, you're dying and not being able to concentrate.
Dude,
or
you
anything
can
like
leave
that,
me
so-
here.
He breezed right through it, man. I mean, that's what happens when the creators of it play it.
Yeah, it's a game supposed to be you're not gonna be able to play like that well in the beginning, but you feel that you're getting better all the time. That's like
That's an
so
important
much
thing to you.
effort towards that, you know.
Yeah, you want that sense of like progression,
progression
but also
in your
sense of
skill.
like.
Was there
self-learning.
ever? Have you play tested this with people yet?
A
little bit, maybe?
We've
Oh,
done
a
it
little
mostly
bit,
with like
yeah.
other developers and
Has
stuff.
there been a part where it was just too damn hard?
Well,
Yeah.
I believe so, but no, not
Not really.
People feel that's fair when they lose, I guess. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so like she died to the eye of the beholder kind of things. I also died to those, but you don't get taken super far back. You don't like lose a ton of lives or anything like that. You just you learn where they are and what they are, and that's how you progress.
And your progress is saved all the time. So if you kill a boss or find a treasure, it's there. Like you've done it already, so you don't need to return to it.
You're actually doing better than I did when I played, so I
Yes.
wouldn't feel
Thank
bad
you.
about it.
Yeah,
Not sure how hard it is to do better than when you played.
Yeah.
Wow, you're throwing shade over here.
Well, I mean, yeah, she said she was really good, and we said we're really bad.
Yeah, I'll
I didn't say I was really good. I said I have experience with this kind of game, but I've never played anything like this, to be honest. Because there is nothing like this, is there?
There isn't. There's other Metroidvanias. There's a lot of games that kind of may look similar or something, but we think we have something special about combining all these different
Gotcha.
things.
Same dude
into one.
every time.
Yeah, it's this same area for me, honestly, and I've seen a few other people die in this area, but it's when you get past it for the first time and do something like that, like it feels super good.
I went down there before. I can't.
Yeah.
Is that the way to go?
So you can go up there and shoot the boxes and get some more salt.
So you're not gonna have them when you're playing this at home. He's not gonna. You can't. You can get his.
Are you
maybe
sure,
you
though?
could text him or whatever.
Can we go on Skype and you
Yeah,
tell me?
I'll tell you how to play it. That's fine. Although maybe we should have him again. I'm not very good, so.
No, you are quite good actually.
That's
how you
very
play
kind
Oh,
of
today.
you.
that's so sweet.
That's nice.
But honestly, thanks so much for having us
Thank you
on.
guys
Like,
so much for coming out here.
Dude, I'll stay here and play this.
Sometime.
I'll see you later.
You're done. You're in it. She's in it.
I am done.
Sometime this year. Late.
Yeah, later on this year. We'll
Good.
start talking dates in a couple of months, something
Great.
like that.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you guys so much. What a great story. Thank you for sharing a lot of new stuff with us. Thank you for telling us more about the lore of it, everything, man.
Well, thanks for inviting us. That was
Absolutely,
amazing,
man.
yeah.
Absolutely. There's nothing cooler in my opinion. I think small indie studios like yourself and Raw Fury, you guys just do
I agree.
awesome
Thanks.
stuff.
I really
We
appreciate that.
bleed indie, so.
Oh, dude. Well, the story's there, the passion's there, and whatever your next
Absolutely.
project is, because I think you have a wonderful little hit here. I can't wait to see what else is brewing in your fantastic mind.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be back.
It's a
What's that?
Many minds,
It's
right?
many.
It's, four minds.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so many people are involved with making. The gaming is not easy to make.
Yes.
No. Not
And
at all.
everything that we just saw there took a lot of minds. So I know you probably have a great team that have helped you make
Yes,
something
yes.
really special.
So,
So
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
Thanks.
We'll be back here with more live coverage at Gamescom 20.